Hello internet, what the hell is going on? And stop exactly what you're doing right now, because 20th Century Fox just dropped a brand spanking new trailer for the latest X-Men installment, Dark Pheonix. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. As per usual, I'll be your host Jack Finch as we take it on down to Trailer Town and take a look at the 10 dopest Easter eggs, references and subtle nods to Marvel fandom in the X-Men Dark Pheonix trailer.
You think you can fix me?
Jean, you are not broken.
After months of complete and utter radio silence surrounding this film, we finally get a sneak peek as to what 20th Century Fox have got hiding up their sleeves for us, and well, it's quite a lot. After we were given a little bone to chew on since the events of 2016's X-Men Apocalypse, directed by Bryan Singer, the benevolent blaze of the Pheonix Force was soon to rear its graceful head into the X-Men franchise once again, of course as one of the most important comic storylines of all time. Before we chew into that, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you're a fan of Jean Grey, Sophie Turner, X-Men, or just Top 10 Nerd in general, and ding that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest nerd uploads. Now, let's get back to that trailer.
The mind is a fragile thing. Takes only the slightest tap to tip it in the wrong direction.
Kicking off at number 10, this is the end. First things first, let's get that song out of the way, because while it might not exactly seem like it, this is a pretty big deal for Singer's X-Men franchise, because as you all know, recently the MCU finally acquired the rights to the long divided X-Men, and finally we can see a complete part of the world that we all know and love, where mutants and Spider-Man can skip hand in hand together forever. But that's a big deal for this X-Men franchise. This is the end, literally. It's coming to its final conclusion. The song, which is a cover of the iconic 1967 Doors track, The End, sprawls its way throughout the trailer, and I'm not exactly saying that it's a subtle nod to the closing moments of the series as we know it, but it's also definitely that. Goodbye convoluted storylines, hello retcon. Next up at number 9, Little Jean Grey. I'm not going to lie, the X-Men franchise has had some pretty terrible continuity, particularly with Jean Grey, as threads of her story have been picked up sporadically since her first glimpse in 2003's X2. Then again, in 2006 we got much more of her in the controversial X-Men The Last Stand, where Famke Janssen's Jean Grey turned into an atomic bomb of a mentally unstable villain, rather than the ambivalent cosmic entity that we know the Pheonix Force to be. But, however, this trailer seems to be taking us in a different route, one that's much truer to the comic books and Jean Grey's relationship with the Pheonix Force. The trailer opens with a little girl, a young Jean Grey, heading out into the X Mansion alongside a younger Charles Xavier as the two try and cobble together a psychic solution to Jean's unwitting cosmic problem. What this seems to do is completely negate the introduction between Xavier, Magneto and Jean in The Last Stand, and rightfully so. Coming in at number 8, Lilandra, maybe?
You feel like you don't belong here. You don't.
Ever since her involvement was announced back in 2017, fans have been speculating as to who Jessica Chastain will be playing in the film. Well, she's kept pretty stum about her role in the film, but Fox did recently reveal that her character name would be Smith. In the trailer we see a platinum-haired Jessica creep up through a rainy scene and a church. She then says to Jean, "You feel like you don't belong here. You don't. They can't begin to comprehend what you are." While this is an illusion, definitely has its root into the cosmic, and some fan theories are still speculating as to whether Chastain will play the role of Lilandra, the Empress of the Shi'ar, a massively powerful race of aliens that are aware of the Pheonix Force. Fox is playing their cards close to their chest, but whichever character this is will likely play a pivotal role. Next up at number 7, you're a liar, Charles.
It's your fault, Charles. The world is on the brink. I'm sorry, I didn't stop it sooner.
True to the comics, it's been a central theme since The Last Stand that Charles Xavier has been using his powers to suppress the Pheonix Force inside Jean Grey by adding mental blocks to ensure that it never fully takes control. She couldn't do it alone, and Charles recognised this fact, much to the unwitting dismay of others. Well, that seems to be exactly the same with the upcoming Dark Pheonix, where Charles has to come clean to the fact that he's been augmenting Jean's mind, much to the hubris of Mystique, although Wolverine played that part in The Last Stand. Contrary to the haphazard way that The Last Stand handled it though, this trailer is seemingly giving us a much more darker tone to the fact that a psychic has been meddling with the mind of a young girl. I guess we'll see how that one plays out. At number 6, no yellow spandex.
You came here looking for permission.
Jean.
Yeah, and unfortunately for us, or fortunately, we're seeing yet another departure from the yellow spandex with seemingly the third or fourth, I've lost count, design change in what seems to be the span of a couple of years. In this brief instance, we see that Xavier is the only character not wearing the blue uniform with a large yellow X stitched across it, and well, it's quite a faithful adaptation of the original X-Men costume design, which, yet again, seems to be another nod to the continuity with the comics. Good stuff. Swinging in at number 5, the Brotherhood of Mutants. It's been a central theme throughout the last 2 X-Men movies, which personally were the only ones that came close to hitting the mark with the mutant awesomeness of the X-Men. Fassbender plays a fantastic Magneto, and his political foray into the identity of the mutant population doesn't seem to be slowing down in this iteration. As the trailer shows, Magneto is back to his usual ways, where he seemingly takes in Jean Grey to his renegade band of mutants in a weird commune kind of thing, as she's in hot pursuit of a solution to her Pheonix Force problem. Again, this was lightly touched upon in The Last Stand, and yeah, we can just forget about that film. More interesting though is a small scene in the trailer that seemingly shows that Beast has also switched sides, seemingly out of betrayal to Xavier in anger for what he did or will do to Jean. Coming in at number 4, a fiery romance.
There's still hope. Don't do this.
Of course, this can't really be a Jean Grey based movie without a storyline involving Scott Summers, although weirdly enough the relationship was barely even referred to in X-Men Apocalypse, so perhaps they'll be stirring things up a bit in their coup de grace for the final film. Although it's only briefly glimpsed in the trailer, Jean and Scott seem to have a small tender moment alluded to in their deeper relationship throughout the film, where Scott seems to defend Jean on numerous occasions throughout the trailer, urging the rest of the X-Men not to view her as a villain, despite the fact that she's probably scorched near enough everybody that she's come across at this point. It's a nod towards Chris Claremont's Dark Phoenix saga, where Cyclops and Jean Grey's relationship was a major aspect of that comic book run. Hopefully, Sophie Turner's Dark Phoenix will do a true justice to one of the most iconic mutant love stories of all time. Next up at number 3, Xavier and Magneto at it again. It can't be an X-Men film without Magneto, can it? And once again, the trailer seems to point towards the ideological battle that these two titanic mutants seem to be hashing out at the expense of others. It seems that again this will be a major plot point in Dark Phoenix, with both Magneto and Professor X trying to find different solutions to the exact same problem, the Pheonix Force. In one scene, Fassbender seems to deliver an absolutely killer line to Charles. "You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech, and nobody cares." Such shade, but it seems that we're going to see a much colder side to Magneto, well, if it can get any colder, but what we've always seen between the pair is a quiet admiration for each other, a quiet respect, but Magneto seems to be turning up the hate toward his old friend if this trailer is anything to go by, and will that have any repercussions to the final outcome of the Dark Phoenix storyline? We'll have to wait and see. And number 2 spot, who's dead?
You're right to fear me.
I've seen evil.
Speaking of the final outcomes of the Dark Phoenix saga, someone is definitely ending up 6 feet under, and well, we know for sure that it's not Charles, Beast or Storm because they're all standing around the graveside. Also, it always rains at a funeral. In the trailer, we see a top-down show of a grave with 5 bundles of flowers on top of freshly dug earth. It's a funeral for sure, they're not visiting an old graveside, but the real question is, who's dead? Now, is this a nod to the death of the franchise as we know it amid certainty of the Disney Fox deal and the MCU's final control of the X-Men? I mean, perhaps it could just be some minor character related to Jean Grey, but why would they all show up like so morose? Maybe it's the end of the film, and if it's following the events of the Dark Phoenix saga, then maybe this is Jean Grey's grave. Well, I guess we're left guessing until then. And finally, at number 1, the Phoenix, of course, because this is the Dark Phoenix trailer, and we have to talk about how awesome of a saga the Pheonix Force truly is. 20th Century Fox have tried to get Jean Grey's involvement with the cosmic entity right on quite a few occasions, and they've pretty much always missed the mark, particularly in the events of The Last Stand. Now, I know this is just a trailer, and I don't want to put all of my eggs into one basket, but I think Sophie Turner is our best chance at getting an accurate representation of the Pheonix Force. And if the little that we do see in the trailer is anything to go by, then we're in for some intense telekinetic showdowns. There are moments throughout the trailer where Sophie Turner seems to deliver that cold, emotionless level of destruction that the Dark Phoenix is known for, and I for one have got a good feeling that this is just the beginning. Well, what do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts in the comment box down below. Cheers for sticking around, folks. I hope you're pumped for Dark Phoenix as much as we are. If you'd like to continue your Marvel binge, feel free to hit that playlist floating shortly above. Tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of nerd as per usual. I've been your host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Top 10 Nerd, and until next time, you take it easy.